When the company receives the final ransom note, it's already too late. The attacker didn't just break in, they were inside the network for days, sometimes weeks. They were exploring, escalating privileges, and collecting sensitive data. And when the encryption happens, that's not even the beginning of the attack. That's the last and the final stage. Today I'm going to walk you through the entire process of a modern ransomware incident attack, step by step and in a simple manner. Also, this isn't about glorifying attackers. It is to understand how organizations deal with it and how they defend against it. Let's start with phase 1, the initial access or the entry point. Modern ransomware attacks start out with something very simple. It does not involve dramatic hacking scenes and all of that. It usually starts with phishing emails or weak login credentials, stolen login credentials, or exposed remote access services. And the way a lot of hackers come across this data is because one threat actor is in charge of getting all the sensitive information, which can later be used by another threat actor. And this way it forms a chain of a group of hackers who now have all the sensitive information about your systems. Let's talk about phase 2, establishing persistence. Once inside a network, the hackers do not try to encrypt the files directly. That would cause a lot of alerts in the initial stage. What they do is they try to exist quietly, and this is called persistence. It may involve creating additional user accounts, modifying system configurations, installing remote access mechanisms, and scheduling tasks that reopen access. The goal here is long-term control. If the system is rebooted or the passwords are reset, the access still remains. We learned about how attackers got the data and got to come in and stay there for a while. Now let's hop on to phase 3, which is privilege escalation or expanding the control. Initial access provides very limited permissions to the hacker. In order to gain full control, the hacker needs to increase their privileges. In other words, they need to gain high-level access inside the network. So this may involve extracting stored credentials, exploiting misconfigured permissions, and leveraging trust relationship inside the directory services. What they're ultimately looking for is administrative control over the environment. Because honestly, with that level of access, they can control anything inside the network. Phase 4 talks about lateral movement or exploring the entirety of the network. After gaining elevated privileges, the attacker now starts moving laterally. It's more like getting into an office building and then quietly accessing all the rooms. They often use legitimate administrative tools already built into the operating system. That's what makes detection difficult here. Their activity can resemble normal IT operations. At this stage, they map the domain controllers, the file servers, backup systems, databases, cloud integrations, and they are learning the environment properly before causing the attack. That's exactly what is happening in phase 4. This is also called reconnaissance inside the network. Let's talk of phase 5 or data exfiltration, which also means stealing the data before encryption. Modern ransomware incidents often involve data theft before encryption. Why? Because encryption alone is no longer enough pressure. Sensitive data may be copied out of the environment, customer records, financial documents, contracts, internal communication. This leads to what's called double extortion. If the organization refuses to pay for decryption, attackers may threaten to release stolen data publicly. And at this point, the incident becomes both a technical crisis and a legal one. We're coming closer to the last phase of the attack. We are on phase 6, which is backup targeting or removing recovery options. Before the attack begins, attackers often try to disable the recovery mechanisms. Because if a clean backup exists, the organization can restore the data even without paying. Common targets include backup services, recovery snapshots, administrative access to backup platforms, and the goal is to limit the recovery paths. This also quite increases the pressure during negotiation. Coming to the last and the final step of the attack, phase 7 or encryption deployment and the final stage. Only after full control is established and the recovery paths have been reduced, the encryption takes place. This is often deployed centrally using administrative privileges. In minutes, large portions of the network can become encrypted. Operations stop, systems become inaccessible, and the ransom note appears. But by the point, the bridge has already been unfolding for days. Now you may ask, why do organizations end up paying in such stressful situations? Why don't they just recover the data from their backups? The reality is quite complicated. There are several factors such as operational downtime costs, legal exposure from stolen data, regulatory reporting requirements, public reputation damage. Ransomware today isn't just a technical event, it's a business crisis. The most dangerous part of this attack isn't just the encryption. It's about how long the attacker gets to stay inside the network before the final stage of the attack occurs. Because by the time the encryption has begun, the main attack has already been done. If you like this video, in the next video we can discuss about how modern detection systems identify suspicious lateral movement or how zero trust architecture can help in reducing this risk. Just let me know which direction you want to go, and I'll see you in the next one with more such content.